So this is my third signature with Epiphone. I modded a old Les Paul custom, put a single P90 in the bridge. I was on tour and the guitar player from Skinnerd saw it and he goes, "I want to buy your guitar." And I went, "Hey man, that's cool, but it's the only guitar I own right now. We have shows, I need it, and I love the guitar." So he ends up going to Gibson and he goes, "Hey, build me this kid's guitar." And they were like, okay, but who's this kid, you know? So I started to meet some people at Gibson. So they're like, "Hey, we want to build you a signature model, but since you're a newer guy, we can do the Epiphone and it can be somewhere around like, I think it was like 700. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So that guitar came out in 2019 and it was essentially the same as this, single P90, rat tail bridge, volume control, tone control. Les Paul basically kind of like put together like a junior, right? So we wanted to do it again and I said, I love the color Pelham Blue. I just think that looks sick. I worked with Seymour Duncan on doing a noiseless P90 pickup. I remember I was talking to Seymour. He's like, "Oh, you'll be our first P90, you know, signature guy." And he goes, "It needs to be noiseless." And I'm like, "I'm down with it, but it's got to sound like a P90. When I started my trio and I was playing with the band, whenever I'd play like P90s, I felt like it was a really cool sound in the mix with the other instruments. And when I would jam with other guitar players, let's say a guy was on a Les Paul custom, one guy was on a Strat, the P90 was like its own sound in the mix, so it didn't get lost. And I thought that was kind of a cool factor. Plus I like stuff that like no one else really likes sometimes. You know what I mean? You'll be like, "Oh, why don't people use that?" And you're like, "Oh, because it's buzzy." And you're like, "Oh, well, I like it." You know what I mean?